Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Kiger, and up here with the second part of the 2020 PlayStation 2 collection. Unfortunately, I can't do a whole shelf at a time. I'm gonna have to do some shelves have more because obviously it's back and front, so shelves have more than other shelves, so it would just take ages for me to do every single shelf one at a time, so it is going to be a bit split. There is a bit of consistency. Most games are going to be in somewhat of a alphabetical order, but they're going to be sort of backwards because of obviously just how it all set up. I still need to sort out the bookcase and properly get everything all reset up. But with that being said, most of the stuff you're going to see here today are C and D games.
Which one?
So, yeah, we'll just get straight into it. Like I said, sorry if the consistency is a bit out of place, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Up first, we have Crash and Burn. Haven't played it, but it looks sort of like a Burnout style racing game. Looks pretty interesting, and of course, as is all case with all racing games, very cheap. Then we have Center Court Hard Hitter, another tennis game, not as good as the one that I talked about the other day on the PlayStation 1. Plenty of tennis games out there for you tennis fans. It's not like today where there's only like two kinds of sports games from companies. There were plenty of sports games to choose from back in the day. Celebrity Deathmatch, I remember this show. It's a pretty funny show, sort of claymation style, where you took celebrities and made them fight each other. It was a really funny, quirky show. From like the late 90s, early 2000s. The game is it's average. It's more funny than anything else. Then we have Dark Watch. It's actually made by High Moon Studios. This is actually considered to be a really, really good FPS game. Sort of like a painkiller style first-person shooter. I haven't actually played it. I do want to try this game out. I hear good things about it. So I definitely will be checking that one out at some point soon. And we have a Dakar 2. I used to love watching the Dakar Rally as a kid. I used to have so many videos on the Dakar Rally. And obviously there's plenty of games based on it. I believe there was a new Dakar game as well, released last year, I think, on the Xbox One and PS4. Then we have Castlevania, Curse of Darkness. This is a sort of a 3D style of Castlevania game, obviously. I remember when I got this game off Amazon, it was brand new, and it was like £15, so I thought I got a good deal there. Of course, Castlevania games do keep value. This is obviously a bit more of a cheaper one to get, obviously, because it's not traditional. Then we have Countryside Bears, part of these children Phoenix games. Phoenix are one of the most budgeted developers on PlayStation 2, and these games are nothing more than an animation, and then there's a bunch of like puzzles and card things. It's a kids game at that, but check out the the animations on YouTube. They are really something to be watched. They are something pretty out there. Then we have Psy Girls or CY Girls, a Konami game. It's two games in one. I think one for one character, one for another one. By the looks of it, one character uses guns and one uses swords. Don't know how good this game is. It kind of looks like an interesting game. I do like these sort of concept of these older PlayStation 2 games where you had more than one character on a disc. Devil May Cry was another game that did that. Then we have a CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, 3 Dimensions of Murder. Plenty of CSI games. Most of them were on Wii though, to be honest. Most of the crime scene games were on Wii. But here's one on PlayStation 2. I've never really watched the show. Then we have Casino Challenge. Ironically, I have actually played this game. It's a very, very basic gambling game. It's not nothing special, of course. Then we have Kart Fury Championship Racing. I actually pronounced it right. A midway, sort of an arcade indie car racing game. It's a very fast-paced game. It's actually one of the first games that I actually got when I brought the PS2 off my friend. That was how I started my PS2 collection back in about 5 years ago. I brought his old PS2 and his games off him, and this was one that I got. It's actually a very challenging game. Actually, it's very hard to get a first place in this game, but then again, it's an arcade racer. What do you expect? Then we have Captain Scarlet. I believe this was another show made by the same people who did Thunderbirds. It's a Blast title, so anything that's got that word, the Blast insignia on there. The games are very terrible, and I'm assuming this is just as bad as the other Blast titles. Then we have a Conflict Global Storm, part of the Conflict series. Of course, Conflict was another sort of SOCOM style tactical shooter. A lot of people love the Conflict games. Weird, actually BT, I don't know if BT had anything to do with this game. That's pretty weird. Maybe it was the internet side of things for the net play they handled. Then we have Cold Winter, one great big grin-inducing, gun-crazy spectacular. Say FPS by the looks of it. Looks pretty interesting. Of course, lots of crazy explosions and things. You are Andrew Sterling, MI6 agent, disavowed. Sterling, his name should have been Sterling Archer. That would have been funny. Why is there not an Archer game? That'd be hilarious. We have Codename Kid Next Door, Operation Video Game. Never actually watched this show growing up. I've seen a couple of episodes here and there. I think the only time I mainly watched it was when I was in hospital. Actually, I think when I broke my arm. I think that's when I actually watched this. I have watched a couple of episodes, but I didn't. It was one of the shows that I didn't really watch. More of an Ed and Eddie guy. We have Code of the Samurai. It's no Neo, that's for sure. I don't know how good this game is. It looks pretty basic, but of course another hack and slash game there. Then we have City Crisis, a helicopter-themed rescue game, I'm guessing. I haven't played everything I own. I am working on playing my PS2 game. Then we have Charlotte's Web, another Blast title. One of the more terrible games, of course, my Blast. Then we have Charlie's Angels. I hear this game is completely terrible. I know AVGN did a video on this, and he didn't actually cover the PlayStation 2 version, but I hear the PlayStation 2 version is pretty bad, of course, based on the remake of the movie or whatever you want to call it. Okay, what's next? Then we have Drakengard. I actually enjoyed this game. I haven't beat it. I've played it quite a bit. It's kind of like a mix between Dynasty Warriors and a dragon simulator flight game. When you're on the ground, it's like a Dynasty Warriors style hack and slash, and then you go onto your dragon and you fly around. It's actually not a bad game. The sequels, I believe, the second game is a bit rare, and the third game is on PS3, which I still haven't come across, but the first game is still pretty cheap to find. Then we have Dragon Quest, Journey of the Cursed King. I believe this is Dragon Quest 7. I could be wrong. Never really played many of the Dragon Quest games. It's kind of like Final Fantasy. I haven't really played them. I've played a little bit of this, like maybe an hour or so of it. It seems like a pretty good game. Just one of them sort of games that you have to put your time into it and take your time with it. And we have another dragon game, Dragon's Rage, another Dragon Flight game, taken from, you know, Panzer Dragoon, I guess. This has a bit more freedom, I'm assuming. We have Dynasty Warriors 2, the one that started it all. Of course, the second game is what gave Dynasty Warriors its, you know, its one versus all combat style hack and slash, where the original Dynasty Warriors on PS1 was a one-on-one fighting game, and yeah, it's where it all began. Love this game. It's not amazing. It's flawed by today's standard, by the other ones, but it all started with the original. Dynasty Warriors 4. I don't think I've ever played Dynasty Warriors 4. I am trying to work on playing all of these Dynasty Warrior games. Of course, there's plenty of newer things in each of them. Of course, got to have them all. Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends, much of the same. Again, like I said, you can get these dirt cheap now, so it's not like you have to pay £50 for an updated version of a game anymore. Yeah. And we have Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires. I love the Empire series. It's more of a strategic version. It's where you have to capture the whole of China and stuff like that. I like the Empire versions of the games. Some of my favourites. Dynasty Warriors 5. Again, much more of the same, of course, always adding new stuff. And Dynasty Warriors 5 Extreme Legends. I believe I do have Empire 5 as well, somewhere. But yeah, gotta love the Warriors series. Could definitely do a video just on all of the Dynasty Warriors games or Warriors games that I've got in general. It's unbelievable how many there are nowadays. Oh, and here's Dynasty Tactics, which is a tactical grid-based game with Dynasty Warriors characters. It's okay. It's not anything special, but yeah, it's a nice little spin-off on the series. I don't have the second one though. That's another one I am missing. Dropship United Peace Force. I believe this was one of the launch titles for PlayStation 2. A flight simulator, I guess. Never really a big fan of flight games. I just never really get into them. Then we have Driver 3 or Drive 3R or Driv 3R as everyone calls it. I remember this game. I didn't really spend a lot of time playing the campaign as a kid. I played the free roam mode. You could always like choose what vehicle you wanted to start in, and I just spent hours and just going around causing mayhem. Driver series kind of went off in a bad tangent, and the series has been dormant for so long. I don't know if they're ever going to bring it back. The Golden Compass, another movie, a video game, a long lost movie. I've never actually watched the movie, and I think the game is pretty subpar, as is the case with most movie games. Then we have Dave Mirror's 3-Star BMX 2. Another sort of a BMX game if you like Tony Hawk style games. The BMX games are pretty fun. Love those sort of games growing up. I've never got back into them though. Then we have a Disney's Sing It. Again, a Disney themed SingStar game. I do have the SingStar microphones for the PlayStation 2, so if I ever want to sing High School Musical, I guess I've got this. Actually, I weren't really Disney growing up. I've never really been into Disney. Then we have Disgaea, Hour of Darkness. I believe this is the first Disgaea game. I actually played a little bit of Disgaea on PS3. I actually like this game. It's kind of a tactics-based JRPG. I do prefer tactics JRPGs to the traditional turn-based ones. And then we have Driver Parallel Lines, another spin-off of the Driver series. Yeah, like I said, Driver games, some people love them, some people don't like them. I'm sort of in the middle. I haven't played enough of them to really give you a full opinion on them. Then we have Dead or Alive 2. I love Dead or Alive. It's probably my favourite of the fighting series. And no, it's not because it's got fucking big tit girls.
Nice.
But obviously everyone knows Dead or Alive for its very risque style. But I love the Dead or Alive series just because it's much faster paced fighting game. It's very combo involved, of course. The girls in bikinis is just a plus, I guess. Of course, that's Kasumi on the front. I'm more of an Ayane girl. She's my main. Then we have Def Jam Vendetta, a rapper and R&B wrestling game. It seems really bad, but actually, these Def Jam games were actually amazing. Def Jam, I don't have Fight for New York, but I know the final boss in Def Jam Fight for New York was Snoop Dogg, and it is crazy. Just look it up. But Def Jam Vendetta is a really fun sort of wrestling arcadey game. It reminds me a little bit of the All Stars wrestling game. Then we have Deadly Strike, a very subpar 2D almost hack and slash beat 'em up style game. It's very average. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's very average. Then we have Dead to Rights, another series that sort of died off. It reminds me of Max Payne. Of course, the gimmick in this game is you have a dog as well. I can't remember his name. Shadow, that's it. Yeah, Shadow. Big like husky you can use to like kill off enemies. It's actually a fun series. It just didn't really kick off too well. Then we have Duel Masters, another Yu-Gi-Oh wannabe manga and anime, I guess. It doesn't have the cards in here, unfortunately. Just a game. Never watched Duel Masters. I don't really know a lot about it. All I know is it's a card-based monster game, kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Never really was a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh growing up. Me and my brothers had Yu-Gi-Oh card, but we never really got into it. Then we have Dance UK XL Lite. I do have a dance mat, and it works. And yeah, you know, DDR style games are pretty fun. Although Dance Revolution never really came out in the UK, we got Dancing Stage. A DDR was more of a Japanese version. We got different versions, but still very similar, you know, the arrows and the dance map. But it works. Obviously, I can't really play it upstairs. Then we have Dance UK. This is probably an exclusive to the UK version. Dancing Stage Fusion. Of course, this was the PAL version of DDR. And of course, you can even use the iToy, which I still need to get one, and I'll probably buy one next time I go into CEX because they're only like £1. Dancing Stage Mega Mix. Again, lots of music in there. Demon Summoner, probably one of the worst first-person shooters I've ever played. It looked like a pretty good game just by the cover. It looked like, it didn't look amazing, but it looked pretty good. And when I played it, it was one of the worst things I ever played. Don't play it. Cell Damage Overdrive. What can I say about this game? Everyone talks about Twisted Metal, and Twisted Metal is great, but this is what I had growing up, and I love this game. I've got this game on Xbox One, the HD version, on PS4, the HD version. I don't know if it's on Switch. If it is on Switch, I will be getting it on Switch. I love this game. Me and my brothers used to play this game so much, and ironically, I never really unlocked any of the unlockable characters, but we used to just love the versus mode where you have to get the most points, and it's wacky, it's cartoony, it's very light-hearted, but it's a very fun game. Then we have the terrible Halle Berry Catwoman movie video game. Of course, that movie a lot of people like to forget about. Crazy Taxi, of course, a classic on the Dreamcast. Plenty of Dreamcast ports on the PlayStation 2. I'm never really a big fan of Crazy Taxi, never really got into it, but it's a very classic game. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, based on the Tim Burton movie. Ironically, it's not as bad as I thought. I for so long I didn't want to watch it because I loved the original Willy Wonka film, and I didn't want to watch the Tim Burton movie in fear that it would just destroy the Willy Wonka film for me. But actually, it weren't that bad. It just the mystery wasn't there like it was in the first one. Then we have Chaos Legion, Capcom game. I believe this is kind of like a mix of Final Fantasy and, say, Devil Kings or something. I haven't played it yet. Then we have Cool Shot, not Cool Spot, but Cool Shot. Another Phoenix blanded title. Of course, looks like a very average pool game. Conspiracy, Weapons of Mass Destruction. Believe nothing, trust no one. Another first-person shooter by the looks of it. Plenty of FPS games on PS2. Let me get into some more Conflict games. Conflict Desert Storm, of course, another very beloved series. I've never really played too much of them. And of course, Desert Storm 2. These games are really good if you're into that sort of thing. I've just never really been a big tactics. A tactical shooter fan. Pardon me. Then we have Conflict Zone. This is a real-time strategy version of the Conflict series. So, yeah, nice little spin-off there. Then we have Commando Strike Force, another FPS game set in the World War II. There's plenty of World War II shooters. Then we have Commandos 2, Men of Honor. This is another sort of tactical strategy game. This game has just had a remaster come out on the Xbox One, PS4, Switch, I believe, and PC, if you're into that sort of thing. It's an okay series. Colin McRae Rally 3, of course, love me some rally games, of course, rest in peace Colin McRae. But yeah, great series, and these games boost amazing graphics for the PlayStation 2. And then we have 04 as well. Codemasters were the masters of rally games back in the day. Then we have Krusty Demons. It's a stunt bike game. It's got a lot of violence in it, so I'm kind of interested to see what sort of crazy things happen in this game. That's what I love about PS2. There's so much crazy stuff. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Ironically, I have never watched this movie, and I need to watch it because apparently it's one of the best martial arts movies ever made, and I love me some martial art movies. How well the game is, I don't know. Then we have Crisis Zone. This is a spin-off of the Time Crisis series, and I do love Time Crisis. Very very crazy first-person on-rail shooter. Of course, you can use the light gun, but it won't work with a modern TV, unfortunately. Then we have Cricket 2002. Yep, not a big fan of cricket. Crescent Suzuki Racing, and yeah, this has sidecar bikes as well. Crazy Golf World Tour, a very bad Crazy Golf game. I don't know how you can fuck up Crazy Golf, but they did. And on to the last stack for this part, we have Conan. I don't know if this is based on the movie or just the Conan character. It looks pretty alright. Crazy Frog Racer 2. Everyone remembers Crazy Frog, and he had his own racing games. In fact, he had two. He had the first one as well. It's okay. It's a kart racer, nothing special. Crash Twinsanity. This is where Crash Bandicoot went off on a weird tangent, and obviously they experimented a bit with Crash Bandicoot, and obviously it died off for a while, and then we got the remakes. Crash of the Titans, of course, this one's more of an action-themed one. Crash Nitro Kart, of course, another classic game that got remastered with the Crash Team Racing remaster. Conflict Vietnam, I have played a little bit of this one, and it's okay. Dragon's Lair 3D Special Edition, this is an actual more of a platform action adventure game, but I believe it also does have the original Dragon's Lair games in there as well. We have Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 and 2. These were the sort of 2D fighters on the 2D plane, but it was 3D characters. They're okay games. I do like the Dragon Ball Z games. They're pretty good fighting games. I prefer the Tenkaichi versions. Driving Emotion Type S, I believe this is actually a Squaresoft game, yeah. So Square didn't actually just make RPGs, they also made a couple of racing games. Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. I loved this game as a kid. It was basically Tony Hawk with Disney characters. And I loved it as a kid, but as an adult I played it and it's very average, unfortunately. It doesn't hold up very well. Dino Stalker, a Capcom branded FPE on-rail shooter, of course, with dinosaurs. We never got the Jurassic Park game on-rail shooter, so we got that one instead. Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. This is a spin-off, and this is more of a hack and slash Devil May Cry style of Final Fantasy game. Some people like it, some people don't. I haven't played it myself yet. Then we have Dirt Track Devils, another dirt buggy racing game, off-road, sorry. Then we have Downforce, another arcade IndyCar style fast-paced racing game, of course. It's all about speed. Cars Major National Championships. Actually, the Cars games are actually not too bad, actually. They're pretty good, actually. Pretty good racing games, almost like unrealistic, of course. Pretty fun, actually. I do love the Cars series as well. Die Hard Vendetta. I remember playing this on the GameCube as a kid. It's an okay first-person shooter. Doesn't really follow any movie though, even though it's got the title of the third movie. It doesn't follow any movie. Dr. Dolittle, another terrible blast game. Defender, yep. Defender tried to make it into 3D, and I believe this game is not that good. Some people say it's okay. Destroy All Humans 2. I love this series, and we are getting a remaster of Destroy All Humans, so I'll be looking forward to that. This had co-op mode. It's a really fun out there game. Demolition Girl. This is one of the weirdest games you'll ever see. It's like a flight game, and you follow around this giant girl. He's destroying the city. It's as Japanese as can be. And then last we have the Devil May Cry series. We have the first one, second one, third, and third series, both the special edition and original. I love the Devil May Cry series. It's on everything now. There was plenty of remakes and remasters. So anyway, I'm going to end this video here now because I don't want it to go over the half-an-hour mark, otherwise I'll have to edit it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and of course comment below. I will be going through and hopefully doing the rest of these throughout the week and weekend or whatever. And of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. Sorry if it seemed a bit rushed. Like I said, I will take my time with some of the other ones, but most of the games here I haven't actually tried out, so there's nothing, I can't talk about a game if I haven't played it. So anyway guys, and as always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Mad Kiger, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.